Good morning, YouTube. Well, I thought haven't made posting any videos in a while, but I thought I should be posting more videos. And one of the big things I wanted to post was about divorce and taxes. I feel like a lot of times I've had more than one client call me up like, "Hey, Ranjit, going through a divorce. How this is gonna affect my taxes?" So I thought this would be a great topic to talk about for everyone. So the major thing, if you're going through a divorce and you have children, there's normally when you're filing together, you're going to file married filing jointly, which give you a higher standard deduction. But now you're going through a divorce. And remember, divorce states where you are at based on December 31st of that year. So if you're at December 25th, so I was making it December 20th, and you file and you're divorced fully cleared by the court, you are then going to file either single or head of household. So you need to be able to determine that as a major issue of how you're going to be filing. So if you, again, if it's December 31st, if on January 1st or January 2nd, you are finally divorced through the court and it's finalized, then that's when you start filing either single or head of household. And now here's the major things. If you have custody of your children, you're going to file head of household. That's going to be your higher standard deduction and be able to claim your children on your taxes. If you do not have custody, or if it's not written in the agreement with your spouse or your former spouse, and that's when you're going to file single. And again, if you're filing single, your taxes are going to increase because your D standard deductions has been reduced. So this is something happens between a lot of couples. They have to negotiate. If you have 50-50 custody, you need to negotiate. It will be written, because sometimes you're written in the divorce decree that who's going to be able to claim children on taxes. So that is a negotiation point when it comes to taxes, who's going to claim it. With the new big beautiful bill, I believe it on the extent basically the credit, the child tax credit is gone up. So it's about $2,000 just on the credit tax credit. So you need to have that discussion when you're going through divorce. Okay, so remember realizing, I'll summarize up that if you are getting through a divorce, if you are and want to know how your taxes, you will be filing either single or head of household. You are head of household if you're able to claim the children. That is what's better. But that is also a question about how the divorce comes around. Then, wait, so you're understand where you are. Now you need then go to your employer and ask to update your W-4. This one where you're going to tell them you're no longer married, you're either single or you're going to be filing a head of household. This will then increase your employee withholdings, meaning they're going to hold more taxes out of your paycheck, so then you don't have to pay taxes when you file your taxes. Realize it's better to have a little bit of money being withheld throughout the year instead of making a large tax payment at the end of the year. Trust me, it may not seem better at the first, but it's going to be easier for you at the long run. So you need to understand that's extremely important. As soon as you've gone through the divorce, you finalize, you need to go to the HR of your employer and say you need to update your W-4. And then you don't have to explain why. You just say, hey, I need to update my W-4. And you go through and basically change your withstanding. So that's extremely important. So the other one is also the dependent care expenses, which means like preschool or after school care. A lot of times, if you're not able to claim the children, you're not going to be able to claim those dependent care expenses. So realizing it's very, very important, realizing who is to be able to claim the children does have a significant impact on your taxes, even with those dependent care expenses also. And those deductions have gone up because of the big beautiful bill. So those are very major things on the taxes. And if you have any questions or comments, you can always give me a call or things like that, or send me an email and I can help you answer. And the other big question is a lot of time people always ask, is child support or alimony can I use it as a deduction of my taxes? No, you cannot use it as a deduction of your taxes. And also the person who's receiving it is not considered taxable income. Alimony may be a little bit different due to the fact of like what time period you started the alimony. But let's say you started alimony this year, it will not be considered tax. It's not a deduction on the person who's paying it, and it's not considered income for the person who's receiving it. So I'll summarize: if you're receiving child support or alimony, you don't have to consider that as income. And if you're paying it, it's not a deduction. So these are the major things you need to understand about taxes and divorce. There's other topics that may express more topics later on, but these things are extremely important that you guys need to know about these taxes. So if you guys have any questions, again, I am a CPA in the great state of Texas, and we do bookkeeping, tax planning, and tax return for mid-sized and small-sized businesses. If you guys have any questions, just give us a call. Hope to talk to you guys soon.